Yes, now, bless now. Don't forget the rest now, people. I'm about to get to bed, so I apologise if I'm a little bit hush, alright? I can't go waking people up. I just finished my listen through to My Chemical Romance's second record, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. I mean, I was expecting something good because I know the weight that this band and this album carries because I've seen the artwork. In all fairness, I thought the whole Black Parade thing was on this record initially, so I was assuming that it was going to be like the craziest thing of all time, but it wasn't on there, and still, it was massive. I don't know this tune Helena that I opened up with, but I did know the tune. I knew the hook, the chorus section of I'm Not Okay, I Promise, and I assumed these were the singles given that they were accompanied by heavy duty visuals, great big massive dramatic music videos, which definitely couldn't have been cheap to fund. 13 tracks on the record, heaps of material from start to finish. There's an intensity, it doesn't let off. There's always an intensity, an emotive, theatrical performance, which at this time of night or in the morning where I'm at now could be a little bit draining to listen to because it was so constant and heavy duty. But to someone who's young and relating to the emo element of things, this surge of hormones, this you know instability, whether it be in their life external or whether it be up there in their head, I can see how this band spoke to these kids. I personally came up, right, if you didn't watch the reactions I've done a reaction to each and every track on this record. I came up through this period, emo, seeing kids, the people around me were listening to this band, influenced by this band. I saw it in real time as it happened. I was a participant of the community. I just didn't take the route into delving into the pop punk slash, electrified emo bands. And the ones I did do, they were quite scarce. My Chem wasn't a band I delved into, such as Panic I didn't delve into, and the bands around that particular genre. The guitar work in this record's really good, and as far as songwriting is concerned, both structurally and melodically, lyrically even, the band has approached this project so much more different to their debut because they've they've attacked this record with the intention of creating great, long lasting songs. There's such a brilliant leap from the last record as to where it felt like they were sort of trying things out to find their sound. Right here, they just boshed it on the nose. They found it completely, and that's really brilliant. Um, and that's it really. The instrumental was absolutely brilliant, but was really, really outshined by Gerard Way's performance. You can see how he became such a contender to the face of emo. Or your elitists will say, "Oh, it's not real emo, man." It might not be the first wave of emo, but it definitely was emo to me and my friends when we were growing up, when we were going through our teenage years. All right, so you can see why Gerard Way was such a bold and captivating figure. His performance on the record is absolutely fantastic. His vocal is brilliant, and the chemistry between him and the band really shines out loud on this record. I do wonder how much the production cost and how much time they spent to record the record, because the production is really brilliant too. There's a great clarity in between the instrumentation, and we can hear, the lyric very coherently, which sometimes, when the vocals are quite harsh, it's quite challenging at times. So that was really a pleasure. lyrically there was a lot of reference to suicide in this record, which I feel is very daring. Because as an artist, ooh, you don't want to influence those who might be on the edge to doing something silly. But then again, you are speaking to this disenfranchised, outcasted youth who, might find it cool first and foremost because it's edgy, and secondly, might feel like they have somebody to speak to and somewhere to escape once they put the earphones in, put the headphones on. All right. Like I said, I came around a lot of these people who weren't, it was all for dramatic effect. They were actually doing stuff. Some of them, you know, might have gone a bit further than others, but to be this edgy character and to rebel through these years, through submerging yourself in this alternate flip turned reality which was uncool by nature, and you found your tribe within the uncool bunch and the uncool group. This band just really hit the nail on the head as far as being that band you could be able to fall within. Now, me, I never listened to this band back in the day, but listening to this band, I regressed back to them years because it personified through the soundscape so many elements of that particular sound and circuit of people, that culture that really defined me as a person. So, as somebody who grew up during the Scene Kid period, listening to this record, even though I wasn't necessarily the target audience of the band, like not now of course, I am not the target audience of the band, even though they're a great band, this speaks to the alternate kids, the youth. Even though I am not the target audience right now, it still took me and placed me back into the days as to where I would appreciate this music a lot more, because it possessed all of the elements that I found in other acts that were flirting around this genre back in the day. The whole MySpace music and the whole Scene Kid LimeWire download, find your music through that means, find your music through what bands were playing on the MySpace profiles of people you admired and looked up to, all of the MySpace famous people and so forth. And it had a parallel to that, and it really brought me back. It really brought me back. So I really appreciate it for that regressive element, which speaks to me personally, as opposed to on a global scale. But it goes to show, if this emo rock band can make me feel some sort of way and regress me to a childlike state, how incredible is it going to be for the direct hit of the people it really does connect with? It speaks fathoms of how brilliant a sound and how well they portrayed and projected actual emotion onto the record to create that connection. And without further ado, I'm going to sign out. So I'm going to give this record a 7 out of 10. I'm not going to come back to the record because it's beyond my time at this point. I've got no time to really listen to this sort of stuff no more. It doesn't please me like it would do when I was younger. But I think it's fantastic. I think it's completely on brand. It never leaves. The intensity is always on 10. The instrumentation and the craft and the musicianship is absolutely pristine. And without further ado, I'm going to sign out on that one, people. Peace.